Hey there, it's Heidi, co-owner of the Atlanta Voiceover Studio and ProVoiceoverTraining.com, with a video that I really wish that I didn't need to make, if I'm honest. But I wanted to share what I'm going through because as voiceover talent, we all go through it, or will go through it at some point in our career, and probably numerous times. Okay, so I'm going to be a little vulnerable here because as instructors at the studio, we never want to give unrealistic expectations in the voiceover world. So Mike and I, we make a great living at VO, but there are seasons of drought and it can be very mentally and emotionally draining. Okay, so here we go. Recently, I wrote in an email newsletter and I just shared how I've been kind of in a slump, just not booking. And I was on hold for 5 major commercials that I was released from, all of them, within a 2 weeks period. So that really wore on me. And I was like, what do I do? You know? And the thing about seasons like this, and I promise you, the open, the honest and vulnerable VO talent that I've talked to, all of those talent have them, is that it actually doesn't last. The longer that you pursue VO, the shorter the seasons like these are. But here are a few lessons that I've learned as I'm going through this dry spell. So, lesson number 1. Nona Jones sums it up so well by saying, success is not a period, but a comma. There's no magical place that you get to where you're like, this is the mountaintop and I can relax now. Especially if you're just starting out. I mean, you get that first booked gig and it's like, oh my gosh, this feels amazing. And then you're like, but now I want 2 booked gigs a month. And then you're gonna be like, okay, now I want to be a full-time talent and have a full-time income. And then you're gonna want to increase that income. But the moment that that income decreases, it feels like a failure. So just know that that is not a period. It's not the end. Lesson number 2, perfection as a performer is perfidious or false. Honestly, I just love alliteration. But you will never perfect a technique or a performance that will guarantee that you win every single time. It's just not how this industry works. The goal of training, growing, and learning is to become a fluid performer, not a perfect performer. Okay, and the message beyond this lesson is that it may be that you're not booking because you've not trained enough or you need extra skills. I mean, that could be the issue. I don't know your situation, but in case it is, it's worth thinking about. Lesson number 3, find a coach who builds your confidence. When you go through hard seasons, your confidence takes a hit. And when you aren't confident, it shows up in your auditions. So sometimes doing coaching during these times is less about getting better and more about building up that confidence. So be honest with your coach. Tell them, look, I want to grow, but I also really need some encouraging feedback to really help build my confidence. And a great coach can easily balance both. Lesson number 4. Treat yourself with delicacy. That may sound a little weird. I'm sure there's probably a more eloquent way to say it, but if something is precious, like I think of my great-grandmother's handkerchief, and we want it to last a long time, we treat it with care. So if you want your VO career to last a long time, treat yourself with care. Honestly, my first reaction during times like this, like the slow times or the valleys, is to escape into reality TV or sweets or alcohol. I just want to escape the crazy thoughts in my mind, but those are just Band-Aids. I've wanted and needed to get back into this habit of journaling daily, but at this point, honestly, I'm like, I'm not able to wake up any earlier than I do already get up for a boot camp, and I used to get up really, really early to do that. So instead, I'm like, okay, what do I do? Well, I just decided I'll start journaling before bedtime. And this actually also helps me to say no to TV at night, which I really do love, but it's just not helping my mental health at this state. So take extra care for your mental health. Lesson number 5, never underestimate the power of persistence. Some days I just think, look, I'm showing up today, and that's all I got. But that, my friend, is a lot. It's more than most. Showing up for a day turns into a week, turns into a month, turns into a year. You want to be set apart, you want to push through, you want to have a sustainable career. Well, one of the main action points for that is just persistence. Show up. I just heard Kevin Bacon say that he's asked what the key to longevity is, and he said, it's longevity. Just show up. Okay, those are my 5 lessons, and I really do hope they help you. My hope is that you're encouraged through this. I once heard someone say, be authentic with the many, but vulnerable with the few. not too good about that, actually. I'm not too good at the few part. But at the Atlanta Voiceover Studio, ProVoiceoverTraining.com, we always want to be transparent and share the realities of this industry. Why? Because it gives you and us power to know what could happen, and it helps us all prepare. So just know that Atlanta Voiceover Studio is a place that is started by two people exactly like you. We try to provide resources and classes and opportunities because we have been through the challenges ourselves. We're not gurus or people who have all the answers or who book every job that we audition for or have perfect careers. That is not our reality. But what is our reality is we have created sustainable careers that have had valleys and mountaintops and victories and failures and mistakes and attaboying girls. And our desire is for you to achieve all your voiceover goals and more. If you did like this video, please give us a like and subscribe because it helps us to just keep bringing you these types of videos. Thanks, guys.